Hello, you wonderful Rise of Kingdoms players out there. This is Dragothien here. Today we're going to be doing our bets for both leagues. I'm going to put it all into one video. It's going to be very easy to do because Realm of Anubis is very easy. Very easy one this week. And then we're going to get into Realm of Horus. So first off, we're going to start off with Realm of Anubis. Know where to place your bets so you can get maximum coin attainage and get those coins so you can buy a bunch of stuff in the shop at the end. So first off, we're going to start with Realm of Anubis. Let's go ahead and go to the events. And we've got our list of matchups here for the third week of the playoffs. Now, some of these teams have already been eliminated, just mathematically. They're done. And some of them are still in the hunt, and some of them are pretty much comfortable where they're at with 2 wins and likely going to win a third and or a fourth. Now, going through these already, I've kind of gone through all of these matchups, and looking at what I see here, there's not really a matchup that I'm looking at and seeing a positive bet. So usually, again, when I do these bets, guys, it's not betting on which team I necessarily think is going to win, although I'm anticipating my bet to win, right? But it's my anticipation of that win in addition to a really solid prize pool line. So, for instance, if I was going to bet prize pool wise, CN44 and 0, they've got pretty favorable prize pools. You got 1.5 to 1. So if you put in 100, you'll get 150 back. That's how that works. So same thing here, IA53 versus ADVS. This is a very positive prize pool. However, I also have to have in my heart of hearts a chance for some of these teams that are the underdogs from a prize pool perspective. They need to, in my opinion, try and have the best chance to win as well. So I've gone through all of these matchups already, and I could not find a single matchup where I was like, you know what? These guys I think will have a really good shot to win versus their opponent. All through here, I mean, this one, 60 UN, was an option. It's about a 4-to-1 odds. It's not bad, but I feel like 64 PL is going to win. Our bets have netted us about 10,200 coins. We still have another 1,000 or so to go for the weekly, event stuff. But I'm just looking at all of these here, and I don't see really a spot where I feel comfortable putting coins as a risk. I think everybody who is favored, for the most part, is going to win. So if we have something like this for the week, I'm just going to put it on the one I think will definitely win, and that's V636. I mean, I think that's the way to go. I'm going to put it all on there, and it's done. Because the worst case scenario here is that we lose, right? The worst case scenario is that we lose. 74 UF did win against Rix. They lost against AX. Now, V636 has curb stomped AX and also curb stomped Rix. So, to me, in my opinion, again, just based off of how strong this team has been, versus, 74 UF is a pretty strong team, but it's not, in my opinion, V636 caliber. So, with that in mind, I think the coins are well suited to go there. I'll probably get 1,000 coins out of this, but it's better than nothing, I think. And this is something that you're going to have to maybe do in the Realm of Anubis, because there's teams that are really, really, really good, and there's teams that are fresh that aren't necessarily going to have all the commanders that some of these other teams have. And that's going to be the downside of Realm of Anubis, because there's a lot of migration. So that one's easy, in my opinion. There's nobody here that's got a favorable prize pool that's bettable, in my opinion. I'll go ahead and grab my 100 coins here as well. Let's jump over to Realm of Horus. Maybe. Oh, wait. Here we go. Realm of Horus. All right. So this is on my main. When we go to the events as well, here's the page. Now, there's definitely some bets that we can make in Realm of Horus 100% here. You got 411S versus 96. I think 411S is going to wipe the floor with 96. I just don't think 96 has shown anything to make me think that that's worth any kind of coins. K374 against MCO. This is the other thing. K734 is actually SFS, which is the alliance that we missed. This is the one bet we missed against OV because, to be honest with you, I think along with everybody else, I didn't foresee them beating OV, but they did beat OV last week, which is a strong showing against a finals and winning team. So, I mean, this is a big deal. MCO lost to 495K, which SFS beat up pretty good as well. So I don't think SFS / K374 is going to lose. So I think that's another bet that's going to be sitting still. 92 SK, won against TOA, lost against 1008, which we also lost against 1008, we being 1 AVG. I'm not betting on this one either. I think we're going to win against 92 SK. That's not biased. That's just I think we're going to win. Now, LIG versus C9N. I have a lot of respect for C9N. They are a strong team. Look at this. Win, win, win. Back to back to back to back to back. And TT is not a joke. TT is not a joke alliance. And neither is really 49F for the most part. But LIG is a strong team too. And I think the only thing that's going to really hinder LIG here is going to be their commanders. Their commander availability versus C9N being in Kingdom 122 versus 401. That's kind of a thing, guys. That's something you have to think about. However, this is a 2-to-1 opportunity here. I think this is something we want to come back to and maybe put a few coins on to see about getting the ball rolling on that. OUO versus TZA. Now, TZA has lost both of their matches. OUO has lost both of their matches. They're relatively even on power. Lost against Raze and JWM. Both teams have. Now, looking at these scores, however, again, the disparity between the wins, or the losses, I should say, is also about the same. So really, this is kind of a toss-up in my opinion. But it's a 3-to-1 opportunity here. So this is definitely, to me, a bet worth making. I'm going to put 300 coins on here. 304. Just because of the odds. It's a toss-up, and the odds are heavily skewed in OUO's favor. So I think it's a relatively even matchup. I think it's worth throwing the coins on there and seeing if something bites, because you'll get 600 more coins if you win that match. Navi versus Rose. Now, this is a good match to watch. This will be a fun match to watch on the battlefield, but it's not a fun match to bet against because I think both of these teams are very strong. Rose being, again, a smaller sized team, however, very scrappy. Very, very scrappy. And both of these teams are 1 win, 1 loss, meaning whoever really wins this match is likely to go to the round of 16. So, in my mind, both of these teams have a lot to play for. They're going to be throwing all of it in. I don't want to bet on this, but I definitely want to watch this matchup. It's at 13 UTC, and I'm going to have to watch somebody else's recording of it because I fight at 13 UTC as well. Looks like we got a new sub, Mr. Crazy Dogi. Thank you for the sub. Eve versus BBTH. BBTH is a heavy favorite in a lot of their matches. They beat Navi, they beat Rose, both really quality teams, and now they're up against Eve. Eve, I think, is definitely a solid team, but they have lost to both Rose and Navi. They don't really have much left to play for. That's a really strong division. BBTH, Eve, Rose, and Navi, that's a very strong division. I think BBTH is going to win here. It's 11-to-1 odds. So if you're going to put some coins on there, definitely put it on Eve, just because you're going to get a good payout if they win, but I just don't see it happening. UCS versus PTOL. I think PTOL really did a great showing against 96 here, but when they came up against 411S, which is, I think, a little bit more of a higher caliber team than 0096, they didn't quite have the same kind of showing. And then we've got UCS, which, against previous thoughts about UCS, they've really kind of stepped it up a little bit. I said that during the first week. UCS has seemed to kind of step up their game quite a bit this Osiris League playoff. So I'm sticking with UCS on the victory here, and because of that, there's really no bet to be made here as well. JST, which I believe is the old 495K. Everybody's just loving to change their names mid-season. making it difficult on us, right? JST lost lost their first match, won their second match against MCO. Sorry. So, and the one they just played was a very strong match. MCO is no joke, but neither is SFS. So, and then we're talking about SFS beating OV. OV's OV needs to get in the round of 16. They're gonna probably do whatever they need to do to get JST out of this playoffs. So I'm betting on OV winning here. I don't think we can see lightning strike twice and OV lose a second week in a row. If OV loses, they're likely out of the playoffs, guys. So that's a huge deal. I don't think the OV team would allow that to happen. I would be very, very surprised if I saw that happen. So I'm going to steer clear of this. It's a 2-to-1 odds, so whatever you put on the bet for JST, if you decide to bet, you'll get double your coins back if they win. So not a bad place to do things, but at the same time, I don't know. I just don't trust JST to be able to take OV out. Of course, I said that last week with SFS as well, and you saw what happened. So take that with whatever you want. 49F versus TT. The Titans versus 49F. Titans have lost both of their matches. 49F have also lost both of their matches. These are consolidation prizes or consolation prizes. Consolidation prizes. Jeez, English. Consolation prizes. And they went up against two really strong opponents in League and C9N. So I don't blame either one of them for losing. Those are two quality opponents. Who wins this matchup? Who knows? Who knows? And because of that, again, because it's such a great prize pool, I think there's a bet to be made here. TT did 20 and 26,000 respectively. 49F did 32 and 30 respectively. So that's something to think about. They also did allow more points to their opponents than did 49F. I think 49F is the favorite, which is what you see on the prize pool. However, I'll throw 100 coins in here, maybe 150 coins, just to get a little bit of sweetener here and see if I can throw a little win in the books. Maybe just type in 150 because it's being difficult. Or not. 150. Oh, I just did it twice. Fantastic. I did it just once. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go back down. 1341 versus TN. TN's definitely strong as well. They lost against HKL, which who can blame them, but beat SX54 by a very slim margin, about 1,000 points. Whereas 1341 beat SX34 by a nice little cushion of 8,500. And then again, of course, lost to HKL. HKL is likely to win this Osiris League as well, just as they did last season, because honestly, I don't think anybody has quite figured out how to counter what HKL is doing yet. So I think the 1341 is the likely favorite here, and sure enough, they are by, again, a decent margin. Throwing some coins on TN is not a bad idea. 1341 is very strong, though. Use your coins here at your whim, but it's a good prize pool is the reason why I would bet on this one possibly. TN getting basically 3-to-1 odds. HKL versus SX54. Huge prize pool for SX54. I don't see them winning. Again, HKL is just a juggernaut here that hasn't really seen its test yet. So I think if you put anything on SX54 and they win, you'll be a rich individual. However, I think you're talking 0.001% odds kind of thing, and it's just not worth it. Same thing with JWM versus Rays. I think Rays, again, strong team, but not necessarily strong against JWM team. So I think there's a value here. It can be done. JWM is not the end-all be-all, and maybe there's some coins to be spent here. 3.3 billion Alliance versus 4.1 billion. JWM, not necessarily the same Osiris League team they were last season and seasons before. Rays is on a 2-game win streak. This could be the battle for first place in the division. I think having fought both OUO and TZA, I think JWM is looking like the stronger team from both of those matches. However, you never know. I mean, honestly, I'm going to put some coins on Rays. I think I'm going to put some coins on Rays. Let's go through the rest here and see if there's any other coins to be spent. And if not, I may just put the rest of my coins on Rays. So 411K versus Snow. This is a really solid matchup. I think ultimately 411K is going to win. But Snow's a strong team, and they showed that by beating both MTO and TTF last 2 weeks. So they're going to be into the final 16 likely, depending on how the other matchups go. But I think that 411K is also going to be a very strong contender for this crown as well. The big thing you're looking at here, 411 versus 177 on the Kingdoms, which means, again, there is a slight, if not decent, commander disparity, guys. You have to take that stuff into account. I think 411K is going to win here, even though I think Snow's going to put up a fight. I think 411K is going to come out victorious. MTO versus TTF, it's 2-to-1 odds. Let's jump to the little scratch card here. We got 411K beating TTF and Snow beating TTF. Again, all these guys have lost both of their matches. I think looking at the stats here, it's basically a toss-up. I think that TTF has lost worse than MTO did, and MTO is the favorite. I'm going to steer clear of this. 1008 versus TOA. I think 1008 is definitely going to win against TOA. They want to go ahead and solidify their first place status, would be my guess, against 1AVG. So I think that they're going to play like they normally do. This isn't a toss-away match for 1008. Let's jump back to Rays. I'm going to throw them all in. I'm going all in on Rays. And the reason is, again, they're good enough. They look to be good enough to do the damage that needs to be done, and the prize pool is massive. It's a 26-to-1 prize pool. This is the type of matchup that you want to see. Not saying JWM is going to lose. In fact, the odds are in JWM's favor heavily. JWM is going to likely win. However, Rays has a shot. They've got a chance. If they can put it all together and get the right coordination and the right players on the battlefield in the right spots at the right time and get the rallies rolling and the garrisons are solid and they've got good garrisons against what's coming from JWM, and they can harass the back lines and they can do all the things that it takes to win these big high-level matches, right? That's a huge payout for you guys. And if you lose, for me, it'll be 1,700 coins. Not the end of the world. But if you win, this is a 20-to-1, basically. This is a 20-to-1 odds. Maybe 15-to-1. So you're looking at basically being able to buy the shop out if you win. The risk versus the reward. Again, this is how you bet. You don't bet just on who's going to win 100% chance, because a lot of times that's not the case. Now, we did that with Anubis this week just because there was no other bets to do in Anubis, in my opinion, that really warranted any coins for a value play kind of thing. So I hope you enjoyed. This is my pick. Huge flag in the ground pick for Realm of Horus, and honestly really didn't know that I was going to do it until I started making this video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Good luck on your bets this week. Cheers. Take care.